Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Work session is adjourned. Now, we shall start the council meeting. The meeting is now called to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mrs. Rich?
Here.
Mrs. Gallagher? Mr. Kraftcheck?
Here.
Mr. Parzak?
Here.
Mr. Levens?
The meeting is now open. Adequate notice of the meeting was provided by posting a copy of the time and place on the municipal clerk's bulletin board and mailing a copy of same to the press and the Cape May County Herald on January 4th, 2019. Will everyone please rise to salute the flag? Do we have any communications?
No, Mayor, we don't.
May I have a motion concerning the minutes?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that since all members of council have been provided with a copy of the minutes of the work session and the meeting of January 15th, 2019, and the work session and meeting of February 5th, 2019, if there's no additional additions or corrections, I move we dispense of the reading of the minutes and that they be approved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We will now have public comment. Anyone wishing to address mayor and council may do so at this time by coming forward to the microphone and stating your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Jim Talone. I'm president of the Stone Harbor Museum. Address is 206 Osprey Drive, Cape May Courthouse. Dear Mayor and council members, I want to thank you for your continuing support of the Stone Harbor Museum. It's your financial support that's allowed us to move forward with our mission, which the borough assigned us back in 1999. The recent money that you've dedicated to us has allowed us the hiring of a part-time museum director who has overseen the expansion of our collection and the growth of the outreach to our community. For 16 years, the museum was purely volunteer basis, but the hiring of a director has provided us with the solid center that we need to move forward. And I want to thank you for your support and hope it continues in the future. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's the new director back there now, Kim Park, if you don't know her. She's right there. Thank you. Anyone else who would like to address mayor and council?
Hello, my name is Steve Bright, and I'm visiting from Massachusetts. I'm here about the drone ordinance. It'll only take a minute. Did everyone get my handout?
Yes, all members of council received the handout. Yes.
It's been 4 months since the ordinance went into effect. We have some knowledgeable residents who work very hard to promote this town for tourism. Most of their flying is done before the summer season. We'd like to have an interactive discussion before another ordinance shuts them down completely. It's clear few people read it before it was passed in November. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to address mayor and council?
It is also about your drone ordinance.
Yeah, just have you come up and,
It's also about your drone ordinance. My name is Bill. I came from Medford, New Jersey, just to address you.
just full name and address for the record, please.
Okay, Bill Toulet, 103 Fox Chase Court, actually Southampton, New Jersey.
Okay, thank you.
I said Bedford because people know where it is. I realize that you're scrapping your ordinance, the one that you have, and you're starting over. And just a little input. I'm here to help you write an ordinance that works. We want to fly. We want to fly safely. We want to fly responsibly. When we see these ordinances where a town puts in what's called FAA terms a floor, which is what I think your ordinance had. You said you can't fly below 400 feet. It begs to ask the question, how do I get there? The moment I take off, I'd be breaking the law. So an ordinance that says I have to be starting at 400 feet, that the FAA does that for planes that are coming in from different airspaces, and there's something down there they don't want them to interfere with. That was never meant to be, for privacy. The other thing is, how are you going to enforce something that says it has to be at 400 feet? Steve has a little drone over there, if you could hold that up. My drone's probably 3 times that size. My drone at 400 feet would look exactly in the sky as what Steve's would at about 150. So I don't know how police officers would be able to determine that a drone was high enough to be legal or too low to be illegal. So that was another concern. So just to give some consideration, I mean, Seaside Heights has an issue, and Point Pleasant also, and I had input on those as well in public comment. At least they let us do it somewhere. We pay taxes too. And your concerns about privacy are real, but not as bad as people think. I mean, I heard what they said at the Ocean City 2 years ago, but, you know, infrared sensors peering through walls, holograms projected in the sky. It doesn't happen. That's not what drones do. You know, they don't have zoom lenses. They're not looking in anyone's window. And they make so much noise you would know. So to outlaw a drone because it's a privacy concern, I mean, it's the same thing as a ladder. You know, say that a ladder is illegal because you could use it to climb up and look in a window. I've never heard anyone outlaw a ladder. And there was one other point I was going to make, is about the 107, which is a FAA license for people to fly drones. And I believe that your ordinance required people to have a 107. Is that right? Is that the way that was?
I believe so.
Okay. If I could just make a comparison here. A 107 is for people who use their drones commercially, not recreationally or hobby. A 16-year-old kid just wants to take a picture of a sunset. He would not need a 107. And for the town to require anybody flying recreationally to have a 107, it's the same thing as saying a soccer mom needs a CDL to drive the kids to soccer, her neighbor's kids, like a limousine service. So you're asking people to have a commercial flying license to fly recreationally. They have to obey the same rules. Recreational, you know, they have to go by the same rules. But it really isn't fair to have, you know, make them get a commercial flying license for that. So that's all. And when you rewrite your thing, I'm going to look for it, and I'm going to have comment.
All right,
Okay?
yep, thank you for your
very
input.
much.
Spell your last name for me.
Just 1 minute, sir. Spell your last name, please.
Tulay.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Well, my name's Bill Lang. I live in Dennis Township. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Bill.
I also am a hobbyist and have done a great deal of reading on the subject since I have become a hobbyist. And I'll be here for another 2.5 months, and I'd be glad to assist in your group in any way I could with a rewriting or any research that you want done. I've done as much reading as possible on the subject. I'd just like to offer my services. There's a big difference between the recreational and the commercial pilots, and I am a recreational pilot. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address Mayor and Council? Seeing no one, I will close public comment. Ordinance 1541.
Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance 1541 be taken up on first reading.
Second.
This is the stair setback ordinance, which
One
has
second.
been discussed at
All those in favor? Let me do that. Okay, I got the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
This is the stair.
Well, I still have to go, I'll get to that. Will the clerk read the title only of ordinance 1541 on first reading, right? Then we'll get to the explanation. Okay.
An ordinance amending Chapter 5, 6038D1A of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Stone Harbor relating setback exceptions.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. This is the setback ordinance for front stair sets within the borough, and this ordinance further restricts the existing ordinance to limit the stair setback to 5 feet. Currently, the maximum permitted stair setback is to 3.5 feet. This will be more restrictive to 5 feet, but will also simultaneously allow the porch size of that residence to equate to no more than 1/4 of the building length as defined within the ordinance. Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance 1541 be taken up on, be passed on first reading, published according to law, and that it be taken up on second, third, and final reading and adoption of at a meeting of mayor and council to be held on the 19th day of March, 2019.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
I have a couple of comments I'd like to make, if I may. First is that I have reviewed and discussed the current and the proposed ordinance with both Ray Poudre and Paul Cates. Also reviewed the presentations to council, including the presentation by Asher Associates. I think like all of us, I'm concerned about the preservation of our island and of our community. I would like to take the opportunity to continue to learn more about this ordinance, so at this time I vote no.
Mrs. Rich?
No.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Ordinance 1542.
Mayor and council, I move that ordinance 1542 be taken up on first reading.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Will the clerk read the title only of ordinance 1542 on first reading?
An ordinance amending Chapter 147 of the Revised General Ordinances, changes for time to allow dogs on the beach during the summer.
This ordinance change will allow us to pass resolutions so that we can change the time frame for dogs on the beach to back it up to the Friday before Memorial Day weekend and have it extend through Labor Day. We've discussed this in the past. That's really the only change it is to just expanding that time frame.
Any discussion? Clerk, call, no, now you do it.
Mayor and council, I move that ordinance 1542 be passed on first reading, published according to law, and that it be taken up on second, third, and final reading and adoption at a meeting of mayor and council to be held on the 19th day of March 2019.
Second?
Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Resolution 2019 S42.
Mayor and council, I offer resolution 2019 S-42 for adoption.
Second?
This is for the temporary appointment to detective, effective 1 January 2019, of one officer, Anthony Torelli. This was recommended by the police chief.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Resolution 2019 S43.
I'd like to move that 2019 S43 be adopted.
Second.
This is a resolution to support the local governing body for the Sustainable Jersey grant applications, which is very exciting.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Resolution 2019 S44.
I can do that.
For adoption, Resolution 2019 S45 is for the refund of money for fire inspection.
We still, just 1 second, we got to finish 44. 2019 S44. Do we get a second?
Second.
Okay.
This resolution is about the farmer's market fee for 2019.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Now, Resolution 2019 S45.
Resolution, Mayor and council, I offer resolution 2019-S-45 for adoption.
Second.
This resolution is change order number 5 to the contract for finishing the police building. It increases the contract amount by $21,201. And essentially, it goes toward the renovation of the old part of the building, which there are unforeseen things that pop up when you're renovating an old structure.
Discussion. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Resolution 2019 S46. We added one, Bob, to everything because of the closed session, so your 45 became 46.
Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, offer for adoption, Resolution 2019-45, which is the refund of monies paid out for the fire inspection, be reimbursed.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Yes.
Resolution 2019-S47.
I'd like to offer Resolution 2019-S47 for adoption.
Second.
This is also a refund for fire inspection to a Mr. Weber from Denver, Pennsylvania.
Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Yes.
Resolution 2019-S48.
I'd like to offer Resolution 2019-S48 for adoption.
Second.
This is authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement and the funds for the museum for the director services for 2019.
Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Yes.
Resolution 2019-S49.
Yes, I'd like to offer Resolution 2019-S-49 for adoption.
Second.
Resolution, what's it doing? Reimbursing for a summer league?
Yes, it's a reimbursement for a summer league. That's correct. Thank you.
Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
Yes.
I need a motion approving the beach sweep dates, Saturday, April 13th, and Saturday, October 26th, both 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have no items for discussion on the agenda. May I have a motion approving the bills?
I'd like to make a motion approving the bill list and authorizing the CFO to pay the bills when the funds are available and the vouchers are properly endorsed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So now, this is a whole second resolution, correct?
Yes.
So what's my number?
50.
All righty. Stand by, everybody. That's 50. At this time, we're about to consider a resolution to go into private session. We would appreciate if you would all remain seated until the resolution has been acted upon. At the conclusion of the private session, we'll come back into public session for the purpose of either taking action as a result of our discussion in private session or to simply adjourn. It is also possible that someone might bring up some other item of business in public session after we come back from private session. Resolution 2019-S50.
Before we do 50, are you going to do kayaks? You said you were going to do a resolution on kayaks.
Oh,
So you're going to put that in, and then
that's a resolution or a motion?
I don't have any idea.
That's the,
We have to change the ordinance, so.
This says resolution. What we had.
it's presently operating off a resolution?
Okay, we're,
Yes.
you're at Avalon.
Okay, so,
We have to decide whether we want to do it by ordinance or resolution. Avalon does theirs by ordinance.
Ooh,
be better to do by ordinance.
ooh. Take it back.
okay, we wanted to do it by resolution as we had in the past. One of the reasons is we're under time restraint because of that March 1st date.
So you have an existing resolution in place?
Yes.
You can amend that by resolution, but ultimately, I would suggest that we adopt a permanent ordinance set forth.
Okay, so tonight we can pass the resolution and we can put that application up on the website. Okay, so
So that's,
what I need then is we're going to move that 2019 S50 is going to become 2019 S50 will be the kayaks.
You're going to pass
Mayor and Council, I offer Resolution 2019-S-50 for the kayak ordinance.
Which will be
Will allow for a lottery to allot kayak spaces.
the dates that the application will be available online will be March 1st until April 1st, 2019. It will allow for the awarding of up to 2 spaces per household. Then there will be no fee. And we will be asking folks to give us some details as to when they will actually be placing their kayaks, and in the event that there is longer stretches of time where they're empty, they will become available to the next person in line on the lottery.
ta-da.
Anything else?
Second.
Wait.
Sure, give me a date. And then April the 11th will be the lottery, and we will notify the residents.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do you want me to roll call it? Yes. Clerk, call the roll. Answer my own question. This is 2000.
Is it a, is it a motion?
Resolution.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?
And now, we're about to consider a resolution to go into private session. We would appreciate if you would all remain seated until the resolution has been acted upon. At the conclusion of the private session, we'll come back in the public session for the purpose of either taking action as a result of our discussion in private session or to simply adjourn. It's also possible that someone might bring up some other item of business in public session after we come back from private session. 2019 S51.
Offer Resolution 2019-S-51 for adoption.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we good? Clerk, call the roll. Go ahead. She's going to call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Mr. Levens?